Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to 7 Deadly Sins Origins. This is going to be my first impression of the closed beta test that currently happened. Not everyone got to play this game, only a select few lucky people got a beta key to this, and I have put about 20 hours into this game so far with a bunch of my viewers, and I have a lot to say. There's a lot of good and there's also a lot of bad that I want to cover, and I want to show you all the mechanics, gameplay, characters, draw system, and really some MMO aspects in this too that make it a lot of fun to play with friends. So I'm gonna deep dive, give you guys all my first 20 hours of a closed beta and tell you exactly what I think the game is going to turn out to look like. And also you guys can look for yourself and be like, hey, this is something I want to play or I don't want to play. So there is a ton to talk about. As you guys can see, 20 hours roughly, right, without any idling. But overall, first impression of the world, I really like it. In terms of every single place, there is a lot to see. A lot of good things about this game is that if you are trying to complete the whole progress of each area, it shows you main quests, regions, side quests, hidden quests, warp, chests, star fragments, right? I know I'm blocking part of this, but this is basically just showing you exactly how much things are in the current map. And there is a lot of map. This is area number 1. Area number 2, there's a little island area down here. You get up here, there's another area. So you can see, and this is all closed for the beta, so you can't get back here, so I have no clue what they're going to be doing up here. But there is plenty to do in each of these areas when it comes to side content, world bosses that spawn and have timers of respawning. You can see there's a lot. So overall, visually, each area looks really good. You can see we have the city over here. If I teleport to another area, let's just say where King lives in the forest, it looks completely different, but it's very rich in color. So environment-wise, I don't think you guys are going to be bored at all. There is plenty. One of the things is, though, it is kind of glitchy when you traverse to different areas. I don't like that part a lot. You can see there's a little bit of choppiness. I'm using mouse and keyboard, so it might look a little more steady on controller on the PS5 or just plugging a controller into your PC. But overall, like, the place is very nice, right? There's lots to do. Every single area looks very different. I'm gonna teleport to this dragon area. I'm not gonna really spoil the story too much. I think story's fantastic. It was a lot of fun to see all these characters come together. But yeah, every area has very good aesthetics to it, and the music has been great. So with that, I would say that's honestly totally fine. And the only thing they need to fix is the loads, because there's a lot of lag in between loading when you go from the city to the outside or certain areas. So aesthetically, character-wise, there's plenty of characters. A lot of them look really good, right? Here's Jericho. We've got Toria, Drake, Manny, King's in the game, Meliodas, Slater. We got Tristan, which is the main character at the moment. Hauser, Dredrin. I think this one looks weird, but he's really strong. Daisy, Diane, Gula, Elaine. And we got Bug here. Into Grimoire, Hendrickson, Dreyfus, and of course Gil Thunder. So every single one of them, their models look fantastic, right? Doesn't matter who you like, they're most likely going to be in this game eventually, and currently having a lot of fun, even with the newest characters that are just introduced to this game. So overall, yes, aesthetics, they're winning on that, right? Especially with certain physics. All right, so let's talk about the world's beautiful. You can travel around, go anywhere. There's lots of things to collect, but how do we get around and what's our options? So far we got running, which is just this normal jog that has on each character. Then you have your sprint button, which lets you go a little faster. And you can see that there's a stamina bar down where the HP is at the middle of the screen. Every time you dodge, it takes stamina. So in combat, you have to use stamina properly. But if you're not in combat, then sprinting doesn't really matter. You can just run around as much as you want. But you can see how big this world is. This is slow. So they introduced mounts. Now, mounts have different speeds. If we go into our pet section down over here, which I can't do in a mount, really weird. They should probably take that away. If we go to pets, You can see that I have different pets. We've got a pet that just sits with you, a pet that you can mount to do land, right? They give you Hawk in the beginning of the game, then they teach you how to capture creatures around the world, and then doing stuff like logging in, hitting certain achievements, you get certain mounts as well. So at the moment, I've got this mount, which has 1,000 speed compared to the other ones that have a 900. So now we don't use stamina, we don't have to push any other buttons, all we have to do is run and go around and we can jump, right? So you can see, much quicker than just running. Then you have also got flying mounts. And these mounts allow you to fly in the air, but this does have its own stamina bar. But it is quite big and lets you get around pretty far. And you can see the world is huge. There's lots to explore. And like I said, when I turn the camera, it glitches a lot. It doesn't look smooth at all. I wish it was a little bit smoother. It doesn't matter how slow I go. Again, it could be the mouse and keyboard. I don't know. As you're falling, you can reduce damage or just use your glider to glide around, and you can see that it uses stamina bar, the same stamina bar that's going to cost you to dodge, run around. I don't like that combination. I think they should be separate. It says, especially for exploration, you don't want to hinder your exploration. I should be able to run around as much as I want without a stamina bar. It just seems ridiculous how big the world is, and you're reducing that. Now, also, the stamina bar can be reduced with the glider or without the glider and the mount if you go through these hoops. So your stamina won't change as long as you're going through these hoops. So this isn't a mount, this is just my glider. I got a different skin for it. The other glider looks just like gliders in any other game. Also, when you're on your mount, same idea. As you're flying through this, the mount stamina won't go through, so you can get to the other side quickly. But once you have teleporters, you can teleport to some places. So still a nice addition that you don't have to use stamina during these, but anything else you do and fly around, the stamina bar will slowly decrease. But they do give you that option of flying and running around with two different types of mounts. Now, the reason this is important too, because there is certain things you have to get in trees, there's certain puzzles in this game, environment puzzles, that like, especially in this forest, you have to use a wind character to hit an elemental piece to give you a jump pad to get to the top of a tree to get a hidden chest. But since they give you a mount eventually, you can avoid those puzzles and just fly up the tree and get the items that you want. So when it comes to traversing around the world, once you have a flying mount, it becomes much better. If you don't, you're stuck with the obstacles of climbing the old style, where you jump on a wall and you gotta slowly climb up. You can do jump, where you spam it, and then you can jump all the way up. And this part, again, if you're running out of stamina, sucks, but it's pretty quickly, right? That wasn't too bad. There is other characters in this game, though, that allow you to climb faster, have double jump, and other characters don't have that, so it's actually better to run around with them. But with the introduction of mounts, it doesn't really matter too much. You can see we have puzzles over here. This puzzle is pretty straightforward. You gotta pick up a block that matches it, and you have to use this item, the Book of Stars. And there's two different styles of this item. One restores and the other one lets you pick up things. I think this part's a little annoying, right? I can't use this block because it's broken, and I can't just use the slate that I have. I have to come over here and make my Book of Stars do something else. So now I can activate Book of Stars, and I can put this puzzle piece, and this piece together. It forms together. Now I gotta come over here, and I gotta rechange my Book of Stars so that now it can pick up things. And it also has a limit of how many times you can do this. So if you see under my mini map over there, there's a little blue circle with 5 dots. When I do this and I pick this up, I can now put it in that square. I completed the puzzle, I get a chest, right? This is one of them. But now you can see one of those yellow stars beside the blue. Let me do this right here with the mouse. So here's my mouse. This is the ability I currently have, and this is how many uses I have of it. So every time I use one of those, it runs out. And I think that part's really dumb. I don't think there should be a limit of this item. I don't think you should be touching 2 different stones to do the puzzles. It should be, I push G, I can roll my mouse or push a button to switch between the different abilities this has, and let me complete the puzzles like this. Making me recharge it and use it just to get through these puzzles around the world really slows down exploration progress. So overall, I don't like that this system's here. I don't mind the whole pick up things, rewind, rebuild things. That's totally fine. The idea of that having to recharge really sucks. So there's other puzzles around here. Like I was saying, that you can just use your flying mount to kind of get around the annoyance of it. Let me go find one real quick. Alright, so I changed my team because there's certain things in the game that you have to change the element, right? So that same item, we can pick up these different elemental, I'll call them altars for now, that you have to interact with other items in the game, like this flower pad. So the only time you can activate this if you use a corresponding element, you can tell by there's wind, and Hauser's a wind user, so all I gotta do is use my abilities or basic attack to activate this pedal. But the game is a little choppy and it's hard to really get used to using this. And then you got to use that to climb the tree, then you're using the stamina system, right? A lot of puzzles like this get annoying, especially if you fall or you miss it because the climbing isn't perfect, but mounts like the fly mount go like, screw that puzzle, let me just fly up here with my dragon, collect the chest, and find whatever else is hidden in the tree. Probably star fragments, other things, feathers, eggs, whatever you have to collect. So having a mount helps a lot with the really chanky climbing system, environments, and how it interacts with our characters. So stuff like this can be very avoided once you get a mount, so make sure you play the game, just have fun. If you see something like that, you go like, forget it, I'll come back later once I have that climbing or flying mount, right? So there's a lot of them around here. You use the same one all the way down there, pick up that altar, bring it over here, activate it just to get up in the tree and collect whatever is up there. Right, so mounts help a lot. They make a big difference. First impression, when you don't have them and you're just running around, it's very annoying. Once you get them, it's a lot better and the big world doesn't seem so big and scary. So with that is environment, that's running around. There's different puzzles. They're very, very basic. That was one of them, using character elements. The other one is there's hidden chests around, and there's also enemies that are around the chest, and you got to kill those enemies to make sure you can unlock the chest and actually open it. You can't open it until all the enemies are dead. Now let's jump into another area where climbing is a thing, right? Again, mounts, it doesn't matter in the end. But let's say you have a flat wall, you can jump on the wall and just climb up, right? So here we go, Hauser's climbing. This is his run speed. Or of course we can do the jump button and get faster. But you can see once we hit this, unlike other games, I believe Wuthering Waves, your character could flip over. In this game, no. You can't get around the roof. You're screwed. You have to have that flying mount to get all the way up there. Now, another thing you want to notice is the climbing speed of these characters are pretty slow, but you can just spam the jump button and you're up there, right? So example, let's grab Hauser here. Jump, 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 but it uses stamina. If we run out of stamina, we fall. Take in Meliodas. Other characters have different abilities, but Meliodas has a jump, but a double jump, so you can jump and jump. And this is really good because you can use that to bring out your glider. But not only that, Meliodas also has run wall speed. So Hauser had to slowly go up there, where Meliodas, you can see how it's a little janky. Meliodas actually has that problem, where if he's running too fast and he hits a corner, he can't go up, so another issue. There's a lot of issues, but you can see he doesn't use that crazy stamina and he gets up walls quicker than other characters. And my stamina is not being used at all. You can saw like Hauser had to jump, 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 and he fell over here. But yeah, there's a big problem with the environment and wall climbing. Overall, I think it's very janky, and this is one of my biggest complaints, that they really need to do something about it. I don't think the idea of climbing walls should have stamina, and I don't think you should be stuck in all these different edges and obstacles. So that part needs to be polished. So overall, interactive map, design, music, traversing, that is all my thoughts on it. So let's get into combat and see what you guys think about it. I like it, but it does have its issues. Alright, so for combat, I'm going to take you to one of the beginning world bosses that spawn. They all have different mats to drop, but this is a guy that you're going to see very, very early. So we're going to go ahead and fight him. Combat-wise, you don't want to stick with one character and just spam abilities and be like, okay, this is all I gotta do, right? You want to switch. This whole combat system is switching between characters. They're not doing this where you switch, you use an ability, then you fly around a little bit, and then switch to the next one. It's a tag team system. You have to come in, use stuff really quickly, get all your buffs, and switch again, right? The more you switch, the more you run on cooldown, the faster it is. Characters do have skills, a common, a special, and then they have an ultimate. So once that character's cooldowns are done, or its ability's done, you switch back, get the other one set up again, get my buffs and debuffs, and then back to my DPS. If you're running 2 DPS, you rotate between the two of them, and you just spam as much as you can until the boss is dead or enemy that you're fighting is currently no longer there. Now, you also have dodging. So if an enemy is about to attack you, you can go ahead and dodge, right? Again, that dodge mechanic has stamina, and this is a very, very basic. Boss looks red, get out of the way. Keep DPSing, right? So you could just use one character, spam your abilities, but there is a lot more to it than just that. This is your basic attacks on characters, right? Then you've got your other ability, which is currently on cooldown. Your ultimate's on Q. It has its own energy and cooldown, but that is the basics of combat. So here's my shift ability, here's my E ability, and that's my keyboard. I keybind it to my preference on how I like to hold the keyboard, but every character has their own cooldowns, so you're always wanting to constantly span between them so you can activate all of them, right? As much as you can, get through all of them. Everyone has a different ult, and they're all really, really cool. So, have fun, run between the characters. Obviously, there might be a character that's better than others because an enemy has so much AoE on the floor around them that you don't want to use a melee character and be beside them. You want to use someone who's long range, like Hauser, King. A lot of characters have long range, and some characters can actually be long range or close range depending on what weapon they're equipped. So even though you just saw the combat with Jericho just being these dual daggers, she actually has another setup. So if I come over here, after you master a character, you're allowed to use 3 different slots of weapons. So now I can come over here and use a lance, and now her combat is completely different with different abilities and effects. So here's my basic attack now. Now I'm swinging around giant lance. This is my shift ability. This is my E ability. And I can't show you my Q because I have no energy right now, but her ult is also different. So again, switch to her, go to her weapons again, and you can see I have a rapier here. Switch to that. Oop, wrong one. It's a use button down here. And now we're going to go back to combat, and you can see completely different combat again. Shift ability, E ability, and then I can't show you the ult at the moment without energy. But every character has 3 different weapons, changing the combat and the effects of each one. Now we go into boss fights, it's a lot different, a lot harder. Mobs, you just use the same character if you want to, but during the harder fights you do want to rotate between your healer, someone who shields you, someone who buffs your entire party, and then a DPS. You can also run multiple DPS. It just depends what part of the game you're playing. Are you playing story? Are you playing actual hard raids? Because there is a lot of different fights besides the world boss. Enemies are running around, story quests, and then you have events and boss challenges. So you have the red demon, gray demon, a guardian golem, Albion mutant, and you got Draco, right? There is quite a bit of different mechanics, and the combat gets a lot more serious than what I just showed you, and a lot harder. So I'll showcase those bosses individually, giving you guys a guide, but that is the combat system, and I think it is rich enough that it gives you enough, oh no, I need to not just stand there and spam my abilities. So we'll go into a boss challenge. We'll go to the red demon, put him on easy because he has easy, normal, hard, and nightmare mode. So on easy mode, I'll show you just a basic setup. I'm not using a shielder here, so it's a little harder because he does drop a lot of AoE on the floor, but this should die fast enough that it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go to the middle here, use a statue to summon him, and I think the music here is so good. The introduction of a boss and everything is fantastic. Look at this, look at this. Beam goes in the sky, it pans up, and the red demon's just coming out. And the music drops. It's so good. So we're gonna start off with Manny, drop my buffs for my Jericho, get Jericho up and running. Currently not using my proper build, but you can see no matter what. Absolutely, it's amazing. There's that ult. Now I have this red dot on my head. I need to get out, or I create these fire spots on the floor that if we stand in them, we die. So we want that away from the combat zone. Get back to the combat zone, dodge these moves. That big area, if I stand in it, I will die. On the hard difficulty, this one-shots you. You cannot stand in this, right? Because this easy mode doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. So he jumps in the air, go around, and we can just finish him off with one character. He's about to attack, dodge at the last second, and we're back in. Pretty straightforward, right? This is where you farm. You're going to use your keys, and every boss here has different items that drops, weapons, equipment, whatever you want to farm. Every single one has its own different loot. Now if I go into the harder combat, so we're gonna do the exact same thing, go to the red demon, and you're gonna see how the game goes from, man, that's pretty boring, to Dude, that's crazy. It feels like a different game. And yeah, that's any game, right? Easy to hard. You end up seeing all the mechanics. You have to react to everything, and you can't just stand in puddles. So, same fight. We're gonna start off with Manny. If I had against someone, actually, if I use Draco here, I have this AoE DPS ability. I'm gonna put on these blades that spin around me that do damage passively, and the character doesn't have to be out. But here's Manny. You can see he starts off with a lot of this stuff on the floor already, so I can't stand in any of that. Just got hit. You can see the damage difference, right? Now my life's in danger. So I don't want to fool around at all. Anything I step in, I am done for. Now here it is, right? So this is the part where he's summoning those underneath me. I'm going to show you what happens when I stand in one of these on the hard difficulty. Big chunks of my HP coming out, right? If I stand on another one, big chunk of my HP coming out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for these kind of fights, right? It's a lot of dodging, reacting. You can see the enemy doesn't die quick, so you actually have to pay attention to the mechanics. I couldn't get the red zone to appear. I guess I have to DPS them faster. But with the current team I have, I could make this stronger. World level also affects the environment and the enemies, right? Just like Genshin and other games. You have a world level. The higher the world level, the more difficult the boss is, and the more loot they drop. So if I go in here into my books of stars, enemies will be a different difficulty if I change this, right? Level 15 is World 2, level 30, and then I'm thinking level 45 will probably be that one. You can see here, if I go to level 30, there's a little door here that sends your world. And if we go to 40, actually level 40 is the next one. And that's it. That's it. So level 40, max world level, all the enemies outside, including these bosses, the world bosses, will have better loot, but they'll be a lot more difficult. So in the early game, it seems slow, it seems boring, it seems easy, but that's just because it's the beginning of the game. Things do ramp up and combat becomes more and more interesting, right? Depending on the enemies you fight, every single enemy has a different combat style. Nothing's the same, so you won't really get bored in those terms. But once you get a certain point where you're super strong and nothing really phases you, besides that very hard content, it doesn't really matter, right? One thing I want to say about combat that I dislike is that when an enemy or when you tag in your character, they tag in different spots. So right now I have Jericho in the front. If I switch characters or another character, sometimes they appear behind them, beside them, and the problem with that is that you end up standing in AoE or getting hit. Another complaint is that switching characters, there is no iframe, so you will get hit. So if I'm over here and I switch, I got hit. You took damage, and you're stuck in that animation of switching. So if I switch like that, I'm stuck there. I can't move. So I am screwed getting hit. There's no iframe. There is an iframe, though, when you use your ultimate. So he's about to attack me. Ultimate. I am now immune. You can see immune just popped up, and he can't hurt me until my ult animation is done. But switching between characters, they can still hurt you, and the positioning changes depending. See, now I'm on the left side. If there was a puddle on the floor here, I would have died, right? So that's a little bit of a nitpick that I think if you're standing right here, your character shouldn't end up on the right and shouldn't end up on the other side. That's only when they have a tag team hit, but they can go left or right, and that's a big problem when it comes to positioning in this game. So with that as combat, overall I think combat's a lot of fun. You do have to position properly, you do have to get in, but there's some things like when you switch between the characters, it makes it annoying that they're not in the exact same spot and they tag somewhere else on the map, which could be a puddle that kills you. So I think that's really bad, but overall I think combat's really fun. I'm only showing you this character and this one weapon, right? Obviously the character has more weapons, different setups. This is my favorite one on Jericho. So if you are picking a character, go through their abilities. So if we go into basic info, you can see here all these weapons have a different special attack, a different normal skill, tag skill, so on and so on, and it teaches you everything about them. So it does go into a lot of detail, and you have to see which one you really like in terms of, oh, this ability seems good, this one freezes, this one heals, this one gives my defense, but then the actual skills themselves feel better. So even though I thought the rapier was really good on Jericho, when I started playing with the dual blades, they had freezing, pushback, stunning. I thought it was ridiculous, and it's so fast paced. So my favorite on her are the dual blade, even though she has 3 setups. This one seems the most fun to me. Is it the best one? I don't know. Still testing all that. So things I dislike when it comes to characters now is character stats. You think, okay, straightforward attack, defense, HP, right? Maybe a couple other things you have to look forward to. So as long as you have a lot of attack, you do a lot of damage. No, it gets too deep. There's attack, defense, HP, equipment attack, elemental attack, physical attack, lightning, darkness. You've got defense, shatter, shatter resistance, accuracy, crit resistance for yourself, crit rate, crit chance, crit damage, damage modifiers, special stats. It is too much. There's too much. I want this to be a lot simpler. They're not going to do it, which makes it very hard because there is RNG in certain stuff in this game. Our costumes of our character, right? You can change the costumes as you craft them, but when you put this armor on, this armor has different stats. So I got attack, fire, and earth on an ice piece. This armor gives us a set bonus of hidden enemy affected by freeze decreases the cooldown of your normal skill by 80%, normal attack damage by 15% for 20 seconds. But you can see I rolled attack, fire, earth. This is the artifact system. So let me show you somebody else's, Surge's Jericho, and their stats they got. So here's the RNG farming in this game. There, Jericho got crit damage, defense, shatter, earth damage increase, right? I got attack, fire, earth. Theirs is completely different. There is an engraving system in here, and it comes off of the costume. If you don't have that character's costume, then use armor sets. The armor sets in this game have their own bonuses. You can see if you complete a set of 7, you get shatter resist for 2 sets. 4-piece gets you dodge modifier with other things in bleed, and a 7-piece gives you debuff duration modifier by 16%. There is accessories, earrings that have their own thing, fire attack on them, physical defense. These are all static, right? So if you farm for this fire earrings, it will be fire attack, physical defense. There is no difference between this one and difference in stats besides level. You can refine them as you're farming enemies or bosses. The hard difficulty gives you higher level and less mats to use. So I got this naturally level 21, where if you fight weaker bosses, you get them a level 7. So that's the only difference. Is armor sets, they're all static. Whatever piece you're farming, this is a healing set, right? This is a frozen set with crit resistance. This one has defense increase. The purple ones are the more important ones, and that comes from different enemies. But the armor set that you craft with engraving is the RNG part, and then it makes all these different stats ridiculous because there's so much to go through. So it is kind of overwhelming with all these different stats, especially with all the different weapons in the game. There's different SSRs and SRs, and we got normal, and we got rares. Most of the time you're gonna run these SR weapons. The closed beta test gave them to free for us, and then plus all the pulls, we got a bunch. But you can see here, like this one rapier, no matter what, is exactly the same, right? It's crit chance, but you can get different staffs. One staff has attack increase, the other staff has a healing efficiency, and there's like 3 forms of this. Even their great swords here, crit chance on this great sword, and then the other one has crit damage. This one just says crit chance and crit chance because that's a lance and looks just like a great sword. There is a different one. Here we go. That's a great sword, and that's a great sword. Crit chance, crit damage, right? So there's different weapons. Characters can hold 3 weapons. These weapons have different stats on them. Then there's SSR versions that also have different stats on them. I can't show them all besides these 2 staffs, right? I believe there's also one for crit damage, crit chance. So it depends what you get. You're like, oh, I got a staff. That's awesome. And then you get a staff with healing, and you can't put it on King. You have to put it on one of your healers, right? So there's a lot of equipment to acquire, a lot of stats to re-roll. You can re-roll your chest piece that I just showed you, how Surge had a different one from me. If you go over here to the engraver, I don't know what the item is specifically, but you can make that set, Hopefully you get something good out of it, and if you don't, you can use, I don't know what item it is, I don't know how hard it's going to be to reset this armor. By the way, co-op, I'm going to talk about it. It's really cool that you can see these are all real players in the town. While you're in the town, you can see your friends, other people, interact with them, check their sets. But back to what I was saying. So here's where you have to collect these pieces to make whatever costume you want to get. How that works in the future is probably off plans from fighting bosses, a lot of RNG. But if you don't like a set bonus you got, let's just say I want to reroll Jericho's. It says here, now in selected equipment to use. I unequipped, unlocked, removed the costume from the character, and I still can't put these in, so I think it's closed in the closed beta test. And I don't think there's an item currently, but I think you use other armor sets that you made to reroll that, and then you change the bonus with Gil. So you can see here's attack increase, fire damage, earth resist, and if I had something, I could reroll that. So there is re-rolling, right? But this is the crafting system. Every character has their own costume, and every character has their own stats on these costumes and what they give you, what bonus. Jericho had ice, the other one had darkness on Meliodas, so on and so on. So the stat system gets a little crazy, gets a little overwhelming. It is closed beta. I haven't had time to practice all of it, but there will be a lot to this system. And actually, I can't even open a menu right now. They have this weird glitch. If you talk to an NPC and exit poorly, you can't open your menus. Now I can. You got to go re-talk to it, or I don't know, close the game sometimes. So stuff they need to work on. But yeah, stat wise, overall, very, 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 very specific setups. But again, weapons are locked into what they have. So if you do get this lance, it's always gonna be crit chance, no matter how many you pull of these. You can enhance it, and of course, limit break it, multiple copies. You have to disenchant it to get this powder to put it on, and then that way you increase it, which I think eventually increases this level 1 at a certain point, right? At the moment, it only increases equipment attack. I had X-King on my stream. He disenchanted a bunch of weapons, used it, and the only thing that changed was equipment attack. Eventually, I think this will increase as well. But you also got enchantment, which you have these little orbs, and they give you different things. On Jericho's weapon, I did it. So if I come here to enhance, you're going to see that under my enchantment, I've got special attack damage increased by 0.16. Obviously, the more rare stuff will give you better stat increases, but these ones I could craft. There is a crafting system, and I got a little bonus on there. So you have limit break, enchanting, enhancing, and then the weapon's natural stats as well. So there's stats on top of stats on top of stats. There's a lot of stats. Yes, there is a crafting system. You make a workbench anywhere in the world, interact with it, and you have all this crafting to do. Another thing in the game, crafting, it's pretty straightforward. There's a level system. The more things you craft, the stronger your bench gets, the higher healing potions you can make, those items to increase the character's weapons for different stats, but you have to craft a lot. Expert workbench, which is probably like level 5 or something or higher. You can make all this miscellaneous stuff, including healing potions, the things to capture creatures, armor, weapons, accessories, things like wood, polish that you need for other stuff as well. And then you've got story quest items. So everything here has a crafting time. I don't have any items because I already used them to level up mine, so I can't show you the crafting, but they have timers like 30 seconds and stuff like that. But that's where you get all that extra stuff for the characters, and you can salvage your weapons for items. So if I come over here and I go to salvage, if I can play this game properly, scroll down, salvage. So let's just say I salvaged this, right? As I salvage it, I get these items, which if I go into my enhancing now, so let's go back to Jericho. Let's go back to her weapon. Let's go to her purple one. I'm going to enhance it, go to limit, and now I have the items to do it. I think it has to be this specific one, actually. Dang, it makes it even worse. Let's go to the bag. Well, that's fine. You can see how it's a little laggy too. They need to fix that stuff. Let's go to the nunchucks I just enchanted. Go to enhance. Go to limit break. And now I should have the item. Yes. So it has to be specifically whatever you disenchanted. That's what gives it to you. So I'm going to use all 5 of them here. And you can see nothing else is increasing except for this. It went from 431 to 456. This stays exactly the same no matter if I have it on or not. So that's the difference between that. So I limit break. And I believe you can use that for it. But you can see now I have the 1 increase. This went from remaining HP to 100%, 40%, 5 seconds. Nothing changed. Only that equipment attack can change. But that's the salvaging, enhancing system, stat system. There's a lot to it. If I had more items, I would craft it and show you the engraving and all that, but I don't have all that. I just wanted to show you what the game has, and one of my nitpicks is there's too many stats. It's not simple, so builds will get complicated. Resources are very scarce. Gil, all those items collecting, you're going to be farming a lot. All right, so with stats and character and combat environment, everything, well, how does the game work in terms of how do you farm? Everything on the environment, you farm as much as you want. Apparently there's a limit. I don't know if it's just in the beta, but collecting chests around the map. Let's just fly over here. The basic brown chest, apparently, another one of my viewers, Frosted, got a sign on his game that was like, you open too many chests today, you can't open anymore. I don't know if that's just for the closed beta, but opening these chests, eventually there was a limit in the day and he couldn't open any more of them, which slowed down experience, and I thought that was weird. But did you see what just happened right there? That enemy was about to attack me because I was loading a chest. Chest opening is an instant. I hate that. Why are you slowing down our progress in the game just to open up a chest? So there's another chest over here. 4 seconds. Why? I want to run around, I want to play, I want to quickly open things, kill things. I absolutely hate that. Another thing I absolutely hate is when you kill an enemy. Oh, here's one of those star fragments that give you currency for polling. Right, you just collect them, they're around the world. You have a character that shows you them on your mini map, but we'll talk about that in a second. But look, when I kill this enemy, right, or kill multiple enemies, in other games, you kill an enemy, the items come to you. You see the item on the floor here? I have to push F and pick that up. If I walk away and I don't see that something dropped or it lags out or something, and whatever reason, I don't get it. I have to go over there, look on the ground, and pick it up. And like, is that the only item? Oh, it probably is. Let me walk away. Nope. Look over there. There's another bag. Pick it up. If I'm walking around the environment and there's a mushroom, sure, I'll pick it up. Right? That's a flower, mushroom, collectibles around the world. Sure. If I kill an enemy, I want to run to the next enemy. Right? I want to go boom, 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 next enemy. Boom, 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 next enemy. Right? Okay, got it. That goes automatically to me. Boom, go to the next enemy. Got it. Right? Run, fight, run, fight. No, I have to stop, look for the loot, and pick it up. We do have a pet system. So I think eventually maybe our pets will pick it up. So I have this little birdie here, right? I'll show you the pet system in a second. And I think eventually they might have effects with them. But at the moment, you have to stop and pick up every single pet. I'm sorry, item, right? I just broke a mining thing. There was a mining rock here. Right, you have to break the rocks to mine them. You also have to pick that up. But that's understandable. But killing an enemy and items drop, no. Not understandable. I think that's annoying. 4-second chest, picking up items, really, really bad. So that's a couple of nitpicks that I have with the game and the environment. So besides going around killing enemies, gathering stuff, world bosses have their own loot, and they cost between 5, 10 in higher difficulties, probably more keys to farm them. So you can see here, you have all these items. You can click on which one you want, see what they drop, and be like, oh, that's interesting. I'm currently trying to farm a turtle down here. So if I kill this boss enough times, I might get lucky, and I might get this baby Bonacrow as a pet. So there is a system of pets and mounts and stuff like that, and you can actually get a fly mount. That dragon I have, I actually captured. Yes, just like Power World, just like Pokemon. These ones the game gave to us. Again, I talked about this, the bison I caught, but there's certain things that you get that you can have, and you have to capture them, not just from quests. So here you go, my little pet. Eventually, I think this pet might have the ability to pick up loot as you're walking around with it. As I walk, it follows, right? Let's go ahead and try to go capture one of these pets, but that system there, you kill the world boss, you use these keys, which refresh in a day. You have 35 of them, you use them all, and then you wait till the next day to use those keys. So using keys on world boss to farm pets might seem fun and cute, but if you want to farm your equipment sets, right, here's the highest difficulty. If you want to get these emblems for whatever they are, these high materials, these earring sets, necklace sets, the armor sets down here, Let me just show you over here. Higher difficulty. There's these plans I think are for crafting, right? Or maybe crafting certain sets of weapons. Here's a twisted shop one, has shatter resist on it. So if you want this specific set, you have to fight this boss over and over. And to fight him, it costs 15 keys when you kill them to touch that purple cube to unlock these items and have a chance at getting whatever's in this section, including upgrade mats for your weapons to make them go from level 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. So you have to use keys smart. There's also, oh, I hate this. In story, when I was talking to NPCs during story dialogue, what ended up happening was enemies were attacking me and killing me. So even though you're in menus, there's no pausing. Obviously, it's a pretty obvious thing, but just to remind yourself, and sometimes even in cutscenes, you will die if you stand near enemies. Really annoying system. And of course, you run far enough, they'll leave you alone. All right, stand somewhere safe if you're doing something, if you're going to the bathroom. But that is very annoying. But back to keys. Keys are used for everything to unlock all the gear in the farming, and they are limited per day. You could buy more from the shop for the currency of polling, 50 to give you 5 of these. Certain quests, and I think certain things will give you some as well. Bonuses, events, some stuff like that will give you more, but it takes the 24 hours to get another 35 to continue farming or use that shop at the moment. There is something cool though under events. These are just, you click on the enemy, you fight the difficulty, you get the reward. They have something here under their current events. That was the part that reminded me of MMO. So into the mines, it takes 15 keys as well to go play. You have easy, normal, hard, and nightmare, and we did this last night. Here's all the loot you can get from it, all the different armor sets, equipment, unique things, right? If you need this weapon for a certain build, this is where to get it. But this was a dungeon raid. You walked in, there's trash mobs, you kill them, you got to the boss, you killed the boss, he escaped, went to a different part of the mines, you followed him down, went through obstacles, depending on the path you chose, it was harder, you had to collect keys for doors, kill more trash mobs, fight another mini boss, back to the main boss, and then you get your raid loot, which is based on RNG. Later on, these might have certain mounts that you can farm from them, but this part was really fun. It was a lot of fun. You can see from just completing hard mode, it gave me the clear for all 3. So we got to do hard, and you can see clear, clear, clear. That probably gives you the first time reward, which is usually crystals or something. I don't know, but it counts for a clear. But it was really fun. I like this part a lot, and I think depending on the guild system that's coming to the game, the fact that we have just a boss fight, running around with your friends in co-op, into doing an entire like mini raid dungeon, a light MMO is what I want to call this. It is incredibly great. I'll have a whole video of us full clearing that later on, but that is one thing you can also use your keys for farming and just enjoying. Co-op is really good. You can invite people on PS5 to PC. It's cross-platform. It was very smooth. They came in, they weren't lagging. They had the exact same combat I did. Use all 4 of their characters. It's not like Genshin where you only get to use one of your 4 characters and they take the other slot. All your characters together share 1 HP pool, and then your friends have their own HP pool. It's not like this character, if it dies, I then switch to this one. If you take damage on any of the characters, they share that 1 HP pool down there. So does your friends, but they have all 4 of their characters. They have full rotation. They don't have to rely on just one character. And world environment, there's these special items, or you're mining, or flowers, things that are very limited per day. If your friend comes to your world and they take it, then it doesn't take it from you. You can still mine that same ore. You can still get that special item that only spawns in certain areas. You guys can collect chests together. You can do world puzzles together. The co-op is very good. I don't think you can do main story together. We didn't test that, but I think that's probably a no. But anything that's special in your world, your friends can't take from you. You don't have to worry about them visiting you and like, hey, don't touch my flowers. Don't touch my favorite clam over there, or my special minerals. Don't mine, don't fish. There is fish in this game, yes. They can do whatever they want, and it doesn't stop your progress in the game. Since we're here fishing, if you walk up to the water in certain spots, I think there has to be a rock or something. You have to be a little higher. Let me go here. Let me see if I can fish. No, but yeah, there is fishing and there's special items, and co-op doesn't stop you from any of that. Here you go, fishing. Fishing's pretty good. You reel it out. If they're fish in the water, you physically see them. It'll slowly come, nibble, and then it grabs, you left click, and then you have an up and down mechanic. So yeah, there's also fish in the game, so there's a lot of things to do. But yeah, you don't have to worry about co-op, which is really nice. Now, to talk about capturing monsters for different pets, like I was talking about the pet system, you can go in here, back to the pets, and you can go to Special Codex. Under Special Codex, there's a pet section, and it shows you all the different things you can get. This is rideable mounts. There's spiders, these really cool looking jaguars and other things. There's different flying ones, right? You can see all the different flying ones, and then actual flyable mounts. Sorry, that first one was glider. This is flyable mounts. This one was given for free. This one I captured. And then, of course, you have just pets that follow you. So if you want to know something you can capture, you go through here and you're like, oh, cool, I can capture these guys, right? So I know I can capture this elegant sea cat. When I see the elegant sea cat, I know, oh, you can be one of my pets. So what you do is you weaken them. I don't know if you have to weaken them, but I weaken them just in case. And now before it dies, I got to use my item. Hopefully I don't kill it. Hopefully my blades don't kill it. Please, blades, don't kill it. Don't kill it. Don't kill it. Anyways, so now I grab my item. Here's my potion that I made, and I throw it. That crab's not catchable, so... Oh, it is catchable right there. Boom. I now have the crab. It's an RNG chance. It's not guaranteed. So I'm going to wait till this guy comes out. Here he is. Throw it. It didn't work. It shows a daze over his head. I'm going to use my last one when he comes out again. Drop it. Didn't get him. Oh no, I did get him. There you go. So that's how the whole pet system works. And now I have new pets. So now I can go into that menu, go to my pets, and now down here I have a crab and I've got the little sea kitten. Do they have abilities on them? I don't know. It might later, but that is basically the pet system. And now if I want this thing hanging out with me to look really, really cool, later on I'll probably get like a giant dragon or something. But now it just walks around with me. That's all it is. You can also see back in the environment, the enemies are fighting each other too, which is kind of cool. But pet system, very straightforward. It's like using a Pal Ball or Pokeball or something. So there's a lot of fun things to do, but co-op, yes, really good. I have no complaints about co-op. It was a lot of fun to play with my friends, and I didn't have to worry about them taking any of my cool stuff on my world. Now, to wrap the video up, I want to talk about the really UI part of this, right? What can you do? There's events. Under events, you have login. This is a closed beta stuff. If I do this, I get a bunch of resources to pull. They give us lots of resources, so that's why I have all the characters. There was login days. We got 30,000. Tomorrow, I'm going to get another 30,000, right? Logging in right now. I think I missed a day of the closed beta. They show you the lingering, the into the mine events. So plenty of things to do there. There's also missions, right? So if I collect certain items, beat certain bosses, I get more rewards. There's these other missions down here, which as you progress and do the basic things, you get rewards for polling, things for upgrading, right? You go through the whole system, you can see there's a lot of good stuff here. As basic as go fishing, capture things, buy things from the store, level up your stuff. So they have this tab for mission and events. Then you have the hero info I showed you. You have the quest log for your main and side, and you can track everything you want. It'll show you on the map. I push track. I now know that's the direction I have to go, how far it is. It'll show you on the map which one you're tracking, and then you can just warp to it or fly to it if it's a new area. Other menus, you got shop menu, which is using your currency to buy things. So if you want to progress faster, you can use that currency. Currently, you can't buy it because it's closed beta, so we don't know what the prices are. You got achievements, which the more achievements you unlock, the more pull currency you get from fighting bosses to dungeon to quest to heroes, all of that, right? Recharge the Book of Stars 500 times as Tristan. You can see, just do some basic stuff like that to get those points. What else we got here? Special Codex. The more things you find, the more armor, the more pets you unlock, the more bonus things you get, like other pets, right? You got the ancient howler of the snowy mountain, a flying mount, the ground mount, chest to give you 5-star selection, more pole mats, right? So you got a lot of things like that. The Book of Stars is where, as you play the game, you do quests, you fight monsters, you open chests, you level up, and that's how your world level gets bigger. There's something Avatar here, but we don't know what it is until later on in the game. Then we've got the boss challenges. Like I said, every boss has a different difficulty. You beat the easy to unlock normal, to unlock hard, to unlock nightmare, and every single one you use your keys. So you don't want to use your keys in the day until you get that highest boss that you can beat, so you can farm better equipment, better mats to raise your characters. Right? You got the pet menu, then you got that party menu, which you can invite friends. You can see what the world level is, what their character level is, and then you invite them to the party. You can also put this to a public lobby, so anyone that's also looking, you say, hey, I want to do a boss. Let's go fight the red demon. You apply that, and then people will join, or you can invite them, and they have to match your party world and mission at the moment as well. If they're behind in story, they can't join you. So I'm gonna leave this party before people randomly join, because they join pretty quickly. So you have a find party function. So you go, oh, what are you guys doing? New players are welcome. World level 2, right? Free public, let's form a party, right? So you look for that. You go here. Can't find a party for this one. For bosses, okay, you guys are doing carrying red demon normal, Lions Field boss, red demon hard, because you can actually form a party and write specifically what you're doing, and then you can see who's in there. Carrying red demon normal. If I click on these guys, they're looking for one more. I can request to join, right? There's also open, but people request, they check your stats when you create that. So you come over here, visibility, hidden, public, approve required, right? And down here, it's not just, hey, we're doing, let's form a party. You can write yours, whatever you want. Enter manually. So you can say pee pee poo poo, right? So the party system's pretty good. It was very fast. People join the world. You have your friend system where you can see your friend list. You can add people. You can see who's trying to add you as well. You have a codex, which anything you want to look up, all the different creatures, you can check it. Werewolf archer who protects the land. There's lore, right? There's going to be a whole system here. You have to kill the creatures around the world, horses, crows, squirrels, right? To fill this all up, they show you literally everything in the game. If you want to gather something, let's say you are trying to craft something on the bench. So if I come over here, switch my crafting to the crafting table, and I go, oh man, I want to craft this potion, but I need this. You can click on this, go to gathering or merchant, and you can push start tracking. So now it'll show you where on the map. The only part that sucks about this is you have to be in the area it's telling you or close by, because it won't show you all the locations. So there's actually a location here, 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 but the further you are, the less of a location it will show you. So you have to warp down here. So if I warp over here, and I do that same crafting item. So we're gonna make another bench, go to craft, find that root, go to gathering, and now the gathering is somewhere closer to my radius. Even though we know there's one down here, it doesn't show it. You have to warp to different places to see what's around you. So I think the tracking needs better tracking in this game, but at least it's there, right? So that is my overall impression. There is a draw system, and you're probably like, what's the draw? They don't show us odds. All we know is the details of what the characters you can pull. I showed you all the characters in the game, SR and SSR. This is everyone you can pull. There's no odds at the moment. They don't show you if it's a 50-50. Every 10 pulls guarantees you an SR. I don't know how many pulls it takes to get an SSR. There is people data mining and leaks and all that that say it matches Genshin system. But yeah, there's weapons and there's character pulls. And again, there's like 3 different styles of these weapons to pull. So there's a book of shadows there, Grimoire, right? You saw my book, which is the healing book. Then you got the other book. The only part that sucks is that when you go in here and you click on the weapon, it just says attack increase. It doesn't show you the other ability of these weapons. So I think when the full release comes out, that's something they got to fix. Because if I go to weapons right now and I look at my SSR weapons, it says healing efficiency, but now I know what they do. Level 1 salvation, healing efficiency there, right? If I click on this one, it has iron wall. If I click on this staff, it has salvation. So depending if it's an iron wall, if it's I think there's another one too, immersion, the crit chance, increased crit damage, you can't see that through the polling system. So that kind of sucks. But that is a polling system. There's a guaranteed animation. If it's not Toria, this character, All right, and it's the other girl that's part of the story. You were guaranteed an SSR. There's like an hourglass. I don't think I have enough resources to pull. I don't, or I would show you during this video. But pulling system's pretty straightforward. Every gacha to unlock a character, you had to pull for them. That kind of sucks, especially with Dual Knight Abyss coming out and your characters are unlocked by progressing the game and just playing. It's all free. You don't have to pull for characters. This game, you have to pull for characters. And with characters having certain abilities, which I said I was going to talk about, depending what you pull, Drake here, his ability lets you to find chests. Treasure detection. It shows you chests nearby. If you end up pulling Manny shows you star fragments around the world. So as you're flying around, it's a 100-meter radius. When you open your map, you'll see those star fragments that give you pull currency on the map. Where if you don't have these characters, your account won't have that. You can see, here's a treasure chest, here's a treasure chest. If you don't have Drake, you won't see the treasure chests. And you see them here on the main map at 100 radius, and you also see on the mini map on the top right over there. So characters do have different ability. You saw Meliodas, he wall climbs. Other characters will have things like Jericho, she can freeze water, so she can actually run on water. Other characters have things that are very simple, nothing too crazy, right? Restores 50% of max HP when revived. I think this part's annoying. If you went into a fight with the red demon and you died, you come back to life with only half HP or 30% HP if you're not using Tristan. So I think that kind of stuff's very annoying. Very, very annoying. Then you got stuff like Hauser, where you can create an updraft to levitate you to higher places, but with flying mount, it doesn't matter. So every character has something unique, but characters like Manny and Drake are account bound, so they don't have to be part of your party. As long as you own them as a character, they will show you treasure chests and star fragments as you're playing. So now I know on my mini map, there's a chest over here. Boom, I can run over here and there's a chest. With interactive maps coming out later on, not really a biggie. It's nice to have it in game, but you can open up a map on another window on your phone to see where all the chests are on an interactive map or whatever the community creates to do this. So it's nice, it's convenient for having those characters, but that part kind of worries me that it might get scary where if you don't have this character, your game's not as immersive or as fun. But I think I covered everything I wanted to cover, all the annoying parts, all the things I dislike, don't like. There's a lot more, but I think this video is very long. But here's my first impression and very in detail of the entire system. Obviously, there's more to talk about. It gets deeper, especially character, team setups, right? We have multiple teams we can make. We're not just stuck with one. So there's presets, which is really nice. You can check out the entire detail of your team, right? What every character is wearing, what their weapon is, what their gear is, right? I can show you full detail, what my set info. So you can show character builds if you want to share it with your friends, see what they're currently running, what their passive is, how much defense, HP, and what their total attack power is. You guys can't see it, but it's behind me right over here. I have 18,000 on this team. It could be a lot stronger depending on how many equipment everyone has. But yeah, there's a lot of things. My camera's all over the place. To this game, more that I'm showing you, but it is closed beta and I want to make as much as I can in this video, but also not drag it super far. So this is 7 Deadly Sins Origins. With all that being said, is it fun? It's fun. If you like Genshin and do you like that combat system and you like it to be a little bit faster paced, more immersive, tag team system makes it a lot of fun, playing with friends makes it a lot of fun. But if you're not a fan of Genshin or Wuthering Waves or any of those kind of games, then obviously it's not the game for you. I don't think it does anything new, but what it is enjoyable. Do they have to polish it? Yes. Do they have to fix things? Yes. I talked about a lot of it in this. There's a lot of things I dislike and really hate and think's annoying, but hopefully they take feedback and they improve on it, polish it, make it more steadier, less laggy, less choppy, and the game just becomes a lot better because I do want to play it and enjoy it. I just hope the end game grind isn't like the other games, which it most likely will be. And the whole stamp system really sucks. So hopefully they take that away. The key system that you can only spend 35 keys per day really sucks as well. So they'll see how they handle all this. But this is the first impression, first look at everything in the game. Video is super long, but it's all there for you. Enjoy. digest it. Let me know what I can do different for these videos in the future if you wanted something different. This is me just kind of spilling my brain out with no structure and just kind of going back and forth with things I think I want to show you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.